Fantastic, Jim. Okay, we're talking about masculine disciplines. I don't normally put my face on the thing, but I will this time because I'm training at the moment. The thing about masculine discipline in a relationship, say for instance with a single mother, you're going to have some conflicts, and those conflicts might be related to usually her children playing up, or the distraction of her children, or the pull between her children and herself and you. That can be a problem as well, and it can be very hard for her to deal with that, especially one that's working full time, possibly doesn't really need your input, but does need the companionship of a male. These are the types of ladies that can get you into all sorts of pain. So what I can tell you from my experience is everything usually works out fine at the start, and this is where you've got to evaluate very carefully what you're dealing with, what is the structure of her parental formula, what is the connection between her and her children. Is it covert, emotional, incestual, or is it healthy with boundaries? Is she rescuing her children from life? Is she disciplining her children and letting them have the privilege of trying to live their life without her over assistance? These are the things that you have to look at. Do they live with her? If they live with her, you're going to have trouble from the outset. You will have trouble with a single mother's children if they live with her. There's going to be conflicts of interest. There's going to be territorial tensions. There's going to be tensions for her attention. You have to, however you can, comprehend and measure what the things are going to be, because if you don't, you will be on the end of some very complicated issues that will leave you stranded. You have to accept that you're the third spoke in the wheel. You have to accept that you're not going to be the centre of attention after the initial honeymoon phase. Once she's filled herself up with the male attention that she's going to need, and that's fine, that's what you sign up for, because she's giving you her female attention. Once she's satisfied with that and has come to a place where she's full, then you have to accept that she will, no doubt, default back into her motherly role, particularly if the children are living with her. Now what that means is you will be like this weight sitting beside the machine. That's the machine and the family structure. Let me do it like this. There's the family structure. I'll just take this weight. There's the family structure there, and you'll always be there. That's going to be your position in that family, there. Every now and then you'll be allowed to sit on top. You will sit on top, but you will never, for the most part, integrate into that family. You'll always sit on the outside, and you have to accept this before you go. You have to take it from those that have been there. It's not something that you can complain about or should complain about. It's something you need to be aware of and know that that's what's going to happen. That's the way it's going to be for you. You can't get into it and go, oh, she's doing this and oh, she's doing that. All you'll be able to do is share your experience. And these experiences and the information that comes with it, that for people that have been there, is available to anyone that's thinking to go into a relationship with a single mum. Now, am I against single mums? No, I'm not. But to be fair to everyone, it will be possibly met with some very unfair, unresolvable issues where you will be on the end of it, whether you want to be or not. That's all there is to it. And you have to realize this before you go in. I don't care how beautiful she is, how well she makes love, how good she can cook, how good are children appear to be on the surface at the beginning. Human nature will repeat itself. We have all the information, and it's guaranteed that if you don't mess up, those children are going to make sure somehow or other they get to you. It's just how it works. And she's going to be the meat in the sandwich. She'll do everything she can to try and keep everyone happy, but she won't be able to. You can't come in there and change the family formation. It's not your job. It's not your responsibility. Like, who do you think you are? That's you there. Let me change this. That's you there. That's the family on the bar. That's you there. And you can be removed at any tick of the clock, and there's no point you complaining about it, because you're signing up for that. Her maternal instinctual love will not be replaced by men. Usually the people that do that, the women that do that, are drug addicts, or they've got some kind of high intensity codependency inside herself that's probably come from a daddy issue that causes her to forfeit her own children. And let's face it, when you hear of mothers leaving their children, particularly infants or young teenagers, never comes across as anything attractive, but they do it. When you get to the age that I'm at, 56, and you meet these ladies, they're very nice ladies, they really are, and all the potential is there to be able to build a good, healthy and wholesome relationship. But if they're too attached to their children and they've made their children a surrogate partner, as it were, then you're going to end up, as I showed you, to be the third piece in a three-part relationship. Most relationships are supposed to be two-part, but when you're in a relationship with a single mum, there's three parts, and you're at the bottom of the rung, which is the opposite of the way things should be ordered. The man should be one, then the woman, then the children. But when you're coming into a blended situation, for whatever reason it is, and for whatever the circumstances are, I'm sure it's going to be genuine. I've met some beautiful single mothers only to be sabotaged by their own children. And the children were the problem for me because of the intensity that I had with their mums. But they were the answer for her, because when a woman goes into, how can I describe it, into insecurity relative to the fact that the man might be leaving, well, where do you think she's going to turn? She's going to turn to her children, because they're not going anywhere if they live with her. They're staying around. He can go. He could go. If he does go, I've still got my children. You've got to understand this. A lot of women are happy to admit that, they're not perfect, and there is a strong possibility that you could leave. And their plan B is usually their children. But the problem, again, as I said before, the problem usually is just by nature, just by DNA conflict, the children. So don't get into a relationship with a single mother and then complain about it. She'll do her best, but she's usually going to be outskilled and outplayed by the people that know her the best, which is the children, be them infantile, teenage, even adults. This is Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist at the gym. I'll pan around again. New South Wales, Australia. Bye for now.